All right. Amazing people, Global Soul Family, and anyone else that may be interested in tuning in to this broadcast of information. Happy to be here once again, happy to be anywhere, happy to be. And want to talk about, during this transmission, some really powerful tools for raising our conscious awareness, shifting the timelines for not only ourselves, but this entire collective that we're so intrinsically connected to, that every thought we have, every word we speak, everything we imagine affects the entire quantum field. And so waking up in the dream, it's a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to ask them at any time, and I'll do my best to reflect, share what I've learned. And again, I know nothing. I'm simply sharing the tools that I've learned from my mentors over the past few decades. And if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, you may want to ask yourself, why not? I mean, you certainly don't have to believe what I believe. In fact, as my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, said, don't believe me, but don't believe yourself. Question everything. And so we're going to dive into some of this stuff. And so what if somebody told you that you could completely shift the way you create your reality, your abundance, your health, your relationships? Sounds like a sales pitch, right? What have I told you? But it's the truth. 30 days. I do it with people every month. And I receive messages from people every month that get the book, get the tracking sheet that they fill out every night. Super simple. Even a child can do it. Or they do the digital online course and they're like, oh my God, I see programs that I've been running my entire life that I didn't even realize that I was running. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And we're still uncovering them all the time. And it seems to be a never-ending process, this, I guess I would call it remembering that we are unlimited, which is one of my favorite words. And I think it's one of the words that the majority of people don't even investigate. I mean, I can say the word unlimited, and I invite people to write it down in capital letters and put it on their bathroom mirror and really begin to tune in. What is unlimited? And we're not talking about from a greedy space of need or anything. We're talking about remembering that you can heal yourself, that you can actually reverse your aging. You ever think about stuff like that? Do you believe it? Or is it too far out beyond your belief system? Because when my mentor in 2001 showed me through just a simple journaling process, write down all your beliefs. I wrote them all out, and I was like, none of these beliefs are even mine. None of them. They all came from outside of me. People I surrounded with, people I grew up with, my mom, my grandparents, school system, religion, everything that I had in my tiny little belief system, which is really, if you're really willing to be honest, it's a prison. Because our beliefs don't even scratch the surface. They wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin compared to the magnificence of what is out there beyond. And the beautiful thing is, what is out there is actually us. There's nothing out there that's more magnificent, more grand, or just more incredible than this human body and the DNA that we hold that comes from the Creator. We are the Creator. So when we talk about, could you really shift everything in your reality in 30 days? Could you? Hey, Louise, I didn't even know that. I missed it. I'm over here in Thailand. That's cool, though. So, hey, Charlotte, great to see you. I'll get to your question in just a second and share it. And thank you for everybody that shares, because it opens up opportunities for other people. Because you can watch my lives. You can go to my YouTube channel. There's hundreds of hours of sharing the tools. And if somebody had told me in 30 days, if I could shift my entire reality in 30 days, first of all, back in the day, I wouldn't have even known what that meant. I would, what do you mean? I shift my reality. It was not something that a lot of people talked about. And so now it's pretty mainstream. It's like, okay, you're creating your reality, your thoughts, your words, your vibration, your imagination, and getting into that 0 point state of, as I have people that go through the 30-day journey, and in the book and the course, it's like you consciously create your reality every single morning before you get out of bed, and those 50 to 80,000 thoughts just start running that are going to run every day. I was observing my thoughts yesterday, and I was kind of surprised at, because I play with these tools every single day, and I'm on calls almost, at least one call almost every day of the week or 4 days out of the week with people. And we're going deep into this stuff, doing the mirroring process and really looking at what we believe. Is there anybody else to forgive? The 3 pieces to the journey, creating our reality consciously, eliminating all spell words, want, wish, hope, try, need, should, hard, difficult. All these words that tell the subconscious, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, or it's difficult, it's hard, it's a struggle. Nobody ever taught us, or nobody ever taught me to eliminate that stuff. It was just taught in spelling when I grew up in Catholic school, and that was the download where they teach you what to think instead of how to think. So now here we are, 2022, one of the most incredible years in recorded history, and people are waking up, people are popping. This is normal conversation for the people that I hang out with, and the energies that are coming into the planet are so strong right now that people are being triggered. They're either being forced to look at their stuff or to go further into denial. And everybody has their choice, no judgment. It can hurt sometimes to watch other people defending their pain and defending their lack and defending their victimization and everything. But those are the wounds, and they can be deep. So it's our invitation to give everybody a hand up. And sometimes that hand up is really not telling them what to do or what we think. It's really just being a good listener. It's really just holding space so that somebody feels safe and heard, that they can process what they're going through. And then if they're open and they want to hear some of the tools about, okay, do you have anybody to forgive in your life? Because most people do. Everybody that comes to me and goes through the 30-day mentorship one-on-one with me, on the very first call, we figure it out right away, or we figure it out on the call before they, invest in the program. And it's like, yeah, my mom was an alcoholic, my dad raped me, somebody killed my brother. I mean, some pretty horrible traumatic stuff. And I understand because I've been there. And so, the key is, are you open to the possibility? I call it a fact, but I don't want to make my facts your facts, because I know nothing, and I'm just Jeff navigating through my own dream. So I do my best to be very careful about what I share and project, and I can get it wrong once in a while. I'm passionate, I can do a post about something that might kind of trigger somebody. But, if you're willing to be open to the possibility, or as I call it, the fact from my research, that every single thing that happened to you in this lifetime was part of your already agreed upon soul contract before you came down here. Now, when that concept was first introduced to me, I was like, there's no way I would have chosen to go all through all this crap and all this pain and all this suffering, and there's no way. And I was in denial because it doesn't make sense to the human. It doesn't make sense that there's people that want to intentionally kill you and your children and sacrifice children and poison our food, our air, our water, our DNA. It doesn't make sense, because anybody with a good heart would never even conceive of that type of stuff. And that's why we see so many people that may still be in denial, even after it's so obvious that what's been done to us, especially the scamdemic and COVID, it's so in your face now that there's no way that you don't know that something's wrong, even if you don't want to admit it. But the key is, we must come to terms. Well, we don't have to. You can come back and do another incarnation and learn it again, But, what I found is, when I finally went, okay, I don't remember, but from what I've uncovered now, that must have been part of my soul contract. My dad got killed in a plane crash when I was 7. I don't even remember a lot of my childhood with my dad. I know he was super cool, but he was gone every week traveling as a salesman for the Ford Motor Company. So I know he loved me. He gave me the gift of bringing me into this reality. We had a soul contract. I might have been his dad in another lifetime or what, I don't know. But that was the gift. But at that time when it happened, there was no way for a 7-year-old to process that. So when somebody told me, you know, that's part of your soul contract, I was like, fuck, really? And little by little, as I did the research, I realized that if I was even open to that, because I couldn't prove it, how can I prove that? Do I remember? Do I have a videotape of me, you know, agreeing to a soul contract before I came down here? Ooh, I'm going down to earth. I'm going to kick ass. It's going to be the most wild roller coaster with the most hellacious challenges ever. And I'm an unlimited divine sovereign being that can never be killed. I can never die. And I can come back and do it again. And I'm going to go down to earth and I'm going to rock the dream. But first, I have to forget every single thing that I've learned. Otherwise, if I came down here and I knew everything, there would be no challenge. I wouldn't be able to perform what I'm doing if I had all that knowledge and I knew it. So my take on it is, and many other people, is we had to forget. And so here we are. So we came in, and what I find is the people that I journey with that have had the deepest, most traumatic challenges are the ones that go on to really be able to hold the space for other people. Because we can read a million books. We can read about how to heal your pain. And, you know, I read a ton of books about abundance, Think and Grow Rich, about healing, the law of one, all this stuff. But it wasn't until I had direct experience. And when I was 7 or 8 years young, after my father died, my mom sent me to a I don't know whether it was a psychiatrist or psychologist. And if any of you out there are that, I mean no offense. But I could tell even when I was 7 or 8, this person was not in touch with their heart. They were completely in their head. And I get people that come to me and do this 30-day journey that have been going to psychiatrists or psychologists for 20, 30, 40 years. And I'm like, what's changed? What can you tell me that's really changed? And they might be able to tell me a few things, but they were not taught or guided in how to do the inner healing process. And every single time that I've taken people through this process and explained it in this way and just held space for them, and yeah, we have tears on the call, and there's no shame in tears. Usually when somebody has a tear, you know, I hear in their story what happened and I know right where to go because I've been doing it for so long. It's not because I'm so great. It's because I care, and I did it for myself and I do it for other people, and I've had incredible teachers. So I go right into the pain point, which is why they're here, you know, why they show up, and you can see the tears start to come up. And normally what somebody will do is they'll reach up and they'll wipe off the tear, and then what will they do? They'll apologize, like it's shameful to cry. And that comes from our parents. If you don't stop crying, I'll give you something to really cry. You know, all that programming. But crying is one of the most healing, releasing, orgasmic, you know, not sexual, obviously, but it is a release. And anything that we're still holding on to that we have not forgiven ourselves or anybody else for, we're holding that in our frequency. And because we are walking, talking, magnetic beings in every moment. Your magnet's on right now. There's no way to turn it off. And nobody taught me that. You know, the first thing I heard was, well, your thoughts create your reality, you know, and I saw the movie The Secret, and, you know, I bought 11 DVDs to give away at Christmas time, and I thought the movie was great. But they didn't even say anything in there about inner healing. And inner healing is the first step. You got to do it. You can, you know, name Susie Love Light and wear all the beads and the crystals and go to Burning Man and all that stuff, and it's great. But if you're avoiding doing the inner healing because it's uncomfortable or you don't know how to get there, because what happens is when we get traumatized so heavily, we lock down because we have to protect ourselves. And so what happens is as we get older and older and older, our path or what we are taught to do in the 3D system of enslavement and control is you got to gain knowledge and get a job and earn a living, which is a total lie. And this is shifting right now. So don't let this bring you down. Don't go, yeah, fuck, we're fucked. I mean, we kind of have been, but look at where we're at right now. Everything's being exposed. Everybody knows about us signing the birth certificate in capital letters, becoming slaves underneath the Royal British Crown, for those in the US anyway. And, you know, all this is coming into the light right now, and you're here for it. So forgiveness is really, really key. So I invite anybody, if you're still holding on to any resentment towards anybody, please, please free yourself. Hey, Sandra, great to see you. Please free yourself, okay? And if you need assistance, reach out, or reach out to somebody you feel safe with. Come and do this journey. Anybody can do it. It's mind-blowing. It's so powerful. And it's such a relief when you finally go, oh, wow, I can really love myself. Even after all the judgments and all the pain and everything, I'm really good enough. I'm better than good enough. But you don't walk around going, I'm so good. You just hold it in your heart, and you just attract with your magnet that's on all the time. You start to attract like-minded people, magic and miracles, but it's not really magic and miracles. It's you. You're it. Anything you can think of or imagine is already here now. It's never in the future. That's why you never use spell words like I want, wish, hope, try, going to. I mean, it's okay to envision. It's okay to, write out your goals. However, I'm in a mastermind group right now with some incredible people, and we're not writing out goals. We are envisioning, like I talk about on every one of these lives, as soon as we awaken in the morning and right before we go to sleep, we do a conscious creation, manifestation, and gratitude little ritual. And you do that before the 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running in the morning. You ramp up, you love on every cell in your body, because these trillions of cells have been loving on you since you've been in the womb. They've never asked for anything in return. That's unconditional love. Where does that come from? How does your blood just keep pumping? How does your heart and every single one of your organs just keep loving on you in every moment, not asking for anything in return? Have you ever really thought about how deep that is? This human body is the deepest, most magnificent thing I've ever discovered, along with Mother Earth. Mother Earth is the most incredible, loving, giving thing. We've beat her up. We've poisoned her. It's unbelievable. And I live here in Thailand, and I'm a nature boy. And every single place that there's not concrete, there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's mangoes, there's coconuts falling off the trees into the street. There's more dragonflies, animals, colored flowers, incredible, incredible stuff here. And Mother Earth just keeps giving. And so one of the things that has really shifted my abundance and my frequency and what I magnetize into my reality is to just simply go on a thank you rampage every day. Like, how many things can you find to be thankful for? Because what happens is most humans, they take for granted everything. Like, I got an incredible microphone here. It's one of the finest mics ever. I'm a recording guy, and I love that stuff. I've got a Tibetan bowl here. I've got a computer. I got an incredible little, pyramid somebody gave. I don't hold on to a lot of stuff now because I moved out of the US. But when you can look around and go, oh my God, I've got a fan right here. I've got an air conditioner. I've got speakers. I've got a soft bed. The water that comes out of my shower is fucking amazing. I've got healthy vitamins. I've got fruit, vegetables. I can go out and put my feet on the ground. There's wild jungle dogs everywhere. It's like so many people, they just want more, which is fine because we're unlimited. You can have anything you want. It's just when you finally figure it out, it's like you don't really want a lot, because the more stuff you have, you kind of got to keep track of it, and it becomes like an attachment. Like for the last 6 years, I've had my entire recording studio, 15 of the finest guitars in the world, all my Marshalls, amps, everything, they're sitting in San Diego. I haven't been able to get to them, and I pay for them every month, $81. And it's like, it's kind of like a weight where I like got to go back and take care of all this stuff. So it's like, now I have one guitar here. I love it. I can do what I need to do. Well, I have two. I have an acoustic and electric. But the point is, once you realize that you are everything, you really don't need a lot. And you understand that when I desire money, it shows up. And I can also give it away. I don't need to hold on to it. I used to hold on to my money because my whole story was money's difficult. I learned that from my mom. I learned that from my uncle who had 8 kids when my dad died. You better eat that last pea on your plate. There's starving kids in it, you know, all that stuff. And it's true. But that programming goes in to our subconscious, and it runs the show. No matter how many times you go, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I did the EFT. I did all the money stuff, and it didn't work until I went in and did the inner healing. So to simplify it, ask yourself if there's anybody to forgive, including yourself. And when you look in the mirror in the bathroom in the morning, spend a little bit of time. Look into your eyes. Not just look to see if your hair's, all good for your Facebook Live and, you picked the cool shirt, which I did today, I will say. But look into your eyes and go, oh, I love you. I love you. And watch what comes back. Because in the beginning, everything that comes back may not be that rosy. Like in the beginning, when I started, I'd go, I love you. And then go, yeah, but you're a fuck up and you've done all this stupid shit. And, you've abused alcohol and drugs and been in motorcycle accidents and they were all your fault. And you said mean things, but I love you. I love you. We can't deny all of the things that we did that were wrong, that were parts of our soul contract. We've got to make peace with ourselves and everybody else. So I intend that downloads. And if anybody has any questions around that, I don't necessarily have the answer. We're just mirroring here. We're just having fun. I hope we're keeping it light. So before I go on to the next thing, since Charlotte was nice enough to pop something in, I'm going to address this. And thank you, Charlotte, by the way. I believe I'm close to manifesting my reality. I love it. It makes me laugh, and I'll tell you why. I feel it, breathe it, wake up on the land, feel so present, being away. I know it's my life. Awesome. Okay, so this first statement I love because it almost makes me giggle. I believe I am close to manifesting my reality. And I'm not making fun of you. I love you. But this is what the mind does. You've already manifested your reality. So I would maybe say, just to have fun with it, because everything else that you say in here, I feel it, I breathe it, I wake up on the land, I feel so present. This is it. This is what I talk about. This is step one. When you wake up in the morning, before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running, you create your reality. See, before, I would wake up and I would hope it's a good day. I hope you have a good day. That's weak. I don't mean it's weak if you're kind and you say, I hope you have a good day. I say, I intend you have the most incredible day. Words are powerful. And when you say, I hope you have a good day, the other person receives it as a nice, loving gesture. So it's not like it's wrong, but hope is a spell word. If you're using it within and you're going, I hope, I wish. The subconscious doesn't spring into action when you go, I hope, I wish, I need, I try, I want, I should. It goes, it's not here yet. When you go, I am, I intend, boom, it is done. And so in this mastermind group that I'm in, we're like, every single thing that we envision is already done. It's done. There is no doubt allowed. There is no wiggle. There is no, well, in 6 months to 12. No. We envision it, we feel it, and we get the hell out of the way because the universe can deliver something way beyond even what we desire. And we usually desire, I'll just speak for myself, well, most people, we usually desire the same 4 things. Our health, a nice car, our house paid off, and then what's the 4th one? Enough money to do whatever we want to do, so we never have to work again and we can travel the world, do whatever we want to do, and never have to worry about paying to live on this planet ever again. Okay? That's great. Those are kind of like nice, cool, But let's be honest, the money thing, it's a survival thing, kind of. It's like, I can finally relax when I have enough money in the bank. And part of it is true, but also, be careful not to be in fear around it, or just play with that. So Charlotte says, I believe I am close to manifesting my reality. You're manifesting it right now. And your beautiful statement here of, I feel it, I breathe it, that's it. You feel it fully, and you smile, and you're loving on every one of these trillions of cells, and now your frequency's up, and you're like, all the incredible clients, the animals, people, money, I can give money away. There's no problem. Because if I hold on to it and think I don't have enough, then that's me telling my subconscious, there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. So if any way you're telling your subconscious there's not enough, you got to be careful with this one. It's subtle. Because you could be, I'm all, Miss Manifestation or Mr. Manifestation, and that's great. But it's the subconscious. That's what we're playing with here. All the affirmations in the world don't do anything if there's a opposite or opposing belief, even a small piece. So this is what we get to play with these tools. And I love that. I feel it. I breathe it. I wake up on the land. I feel so present, and I'm in my alignment. I always believed in unlimited abundance in every way. I love that. So everybody download that. Feel into that. I feel it. I breathe it. And are you smiling as you say it? Or are you like, understand? Because you're sending messages to your subconscious. So if you're smiling and you're relaxed, your subconscious goes, yeah, that's alignment. I'm in it. If you're like not really clear on it, then sit with it and figure out why, it's usually just a belief, and it's a learned behavior. It's not your fault. And you chose it as part of your soul contract. And the more challenging things that we chose, that means as soon as we finally see what they are and we dismantle them by having the willingness to look at our stuff, our shit, our triggers, whatever, then we start to clear that. And we're not only clearing it for ourselves, but we're clearing it for the entire collective. So everybody that's on here right now, I don't know if it's 8 people, I don't know if that's correct, and the people that will watch this, if any of this stuff even interests you, you're a freaking rock star. You came here to be, I don't know if we're one of the 144,000 or whatever. I don't know any of that. It doesn't matter. I don't know if the earth is flat or round. I've watched great documentaries on both, but I can't prove it. So it doesn't matter to me, because that doesn't affect me creating my reality every day. And it's going to be exposed. I mean, maybe it's flat because they closed off Antarctica and they don't want anybody. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, because I can still manifest my ideal reality with my thoughts, my words, my imagination, and my excitement, which is my favorite word. So don't ever believe you're not smart enough, not good enough, nothing, because there's nobody else like you, and you are a perfect piece of this whole. And so if you don't believe that you're magic, please look at that, because it's a lie. Yeah. Let's see what my contract. Yeah, forgiving. Yeah. You didn't fail anything. You're here and you're kicking ass. Ready to tear up my diploma from Our Lady of the Perpetual Guilt. Yeah, got it. Totally. I went to St. Ursula Academy in 2nd grade. I was wearing a bow tie, a little uniform. I had to stand in the corner, and all the nuns were angry and pissed off every day. Hi, Sarah. And even in 2nd grade, I didn't know the first thing about frequency. I didn't know the first thing about creating your reality. I didn't know the first thing about those concepts. And my higher self, or my intuition, said, there's something really wrong here. Really wrong. And then I was an altar boy in church, and luckily nothing ever happened to me. But I know other boys that things happened to them that was not good. And so, yeah. So you haven't failed in any way. That's just the memory. And this is something that I play with, that in the very near future, we will be able to delete any memory that doesn't come from love. I mean, once we've learned the lesson, because they're there to teach us a lesson. But so, yeah, I mean, loving on yourself, forgive anybody else. Everybody is you. Everybody's your teacher. And when my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, told me that, I didn't understand it, because I was like, really? You mean all the bad people, all the murderers, all the pedophiles, all the thieves, all the people poisoning our food, air, and water? It's part of the collective. So here's the thing, and this is one of the things I wrote down in my notes to talk about. I used to be a judgeaholic because I learned how to be that in Catholic school. Every day was Judgment Day. And then for any of those of you that were in the Catholic religion, and if you go to church, cool, whatever. I'm not knocking it. I'm just like, if you're giving your power out to a God outside you, hoping that he's going to throw you a bone or, let you into the pearly gates on Judgment Day, then you've been deceived. That's all there is to it. It's a guilt program to feed on guilt, low vibration, and to get you to give money into the box every week and every month, and to be in shame and guilt. It's fucked up. Sorry, Mom. But so I used to be against the bad people. What I didn't realize was, who's holding that frequency of judgment if I'm against? Because I used to point out everything that was wrong in the world because I thought that's how we fixed it. No, it's not. So here's one of the concepts I want to share today. Instead of being against things, which actually magnetizes more of that same frequency into your reality. So, you see people out there, why do I keep attracting the same guy or same woman in my life and relationships? Because you're holding that frequency of guilt, shame, woundedness, unworthiness, or whatever. So you're going to keep attracting that over and over and over. There's no way around it. And the beautiful thing is that the soul will keep sending you the same opportunities over and over and over until you get it, because there's no such thing as time. And the bottom line is, you're going back to the magnificent, unlimited being that never made a mistake, never screwed up, never did anything wrong. This is just a journey. It's like a movie to have fun, and it's a challenge. And our invitation is to figure out that love is the answer in every situation. And that doesn't mean ever take any abuse. One of my mantras, and I'm going to share 4 mantras with you before we go. And if you download them, it'll shift your life. It will. And I'll show you. But one of them is, anything less than love is unacceptable in my life and relationships, period. 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 So if somebody comes at me and they're upset or they're angry or they're triggered or whatever, I'll calmly mirror them. And I'll say, oh, wow, I see that you're upset. Do you want to talk about that? And if they're like, no, fucking you're, and you can't talk to them, then I'm like, okay, you're out. Because I'm not going to accept that type of projected toxicity and negativity. I don't need to get upset. I'll calmly observe it and go, fuck, they're really in pain. I'm sending you a lot of compassion right now. But if you don't want to own your stuff and you just want to project it, you're out of my field. You can come back later because I know we're connected, but you will not bring that toxicity into my field. So anything less than love is unacceptable in my life and relationships. That's a big one. It's a good one. It doesn't mean you don't love people. It doesn't mean you're not a good person. There's boundaries. And nobody has the right to harm or abuse you, period. And you don't have to accept that. So that is a big one, okay? So instead of being against things, when I used to be a judgeaholic and point out everything that was wrong and I kept seeing, it's like when you're going on a family trip and you're like, okay, we're going to look for all the red Volkswagens or whatever. And then you just start seeing them because that's what you're focused on. It's even stronger with judgments because it's a more, driving on a vacation, looking at cars, that's neutral, it's fun. But when you're pissed off and angry or you're holding resentment towards somebody for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that's not only intense on your body, but that frequency has been magnified by you holding that resentment and holding that story for decades. So your magnet is like on to attract what you do not want to attract. So I intend that this download is getting there. Okay, so the second mantra is, what is the gift here? Anytime you get triggered, And this is all in the book, in the course, in the deal. And I'm telling you, if you learn this process, it will completely shift your frequency, your thought patterns, and how you manifest your reality faster than anything I've ever seen. And I've done a lot of 3-day seminars in LA, Las Vegas, Sedona, San Diego, and I was all pumped up for about a week. And then little by little by little, my subconscious stuff, because they didn't teach me how to clear it. It was all pumped up stuff, and there were some great tools, don't get me wrong, but nobody taught me how to go in and do the 3 pieces. You got to do them, and it's easy. Even a child can learn how to do them, because I have parents come to me, and they go through the course, and their kids are interested. So they have their kids get their own daily tracking sheet. They fill it out. They start catching every judgment, every doubt, every less than thought, and it starts to shift everything. So even a kid can do it. In fact, the kids actually have less resistance, and they have more fun doing it because it's a challenge and it's a game, than the parents or the person, because they've been holding on to this story and this energy a lot of times since childhood. So there can tend to be a lot more resistance. So it's great stuff. So what is the gift here? Anytime you have a judgment, it's about you. It's not, this is the trick of the 3D hologram. It's reversed. It's a mirror. And if you're willing to look at that, everything in your life and relationships and abundance is going to shift. But if you're like, no, I can't forgive my ex. There's no way, still can't see my kids. And I mean, I journey with people that like their ex lied in court and they can't even see their kids, and they some really horrible stuff. And, it takes a really grounded person to be able to process that type of pain and go, okay, this must be part of their soul journey and my soul journey. And I will always love them, and I'll always hold that space. And when it's their time, they'll come back around. Because otherwise, if you're holding that resentment, who's gonna take the pain for that? Whose body is gonna suffer? It creates dis-ease in the body. So you want to be loving on this body. This body's loving on you right now. Just in the time that we've been on this call, do you know how many trillions and trillions of functions your body has done for you? It's not even calculatable. In even 1 second, it's not calculatable how many things are firing off in your brain to process all this stuff going back and forth in real time. You may be scrolling on Facebook too at the same time and listening to me. You may be doing your nails, but your heart's beating, your blood's pumping, every one of these cells is moving through your body. It's healing you. It's mind-blowing, literally. And if that's not enough to get you to go, wow, what a trip. I want to really tune in to my self-love and be grateful and go to the next level. Not because you need to prove anything, but because it's built in to your soul's journey to remember that you're freaking amazing. You're beyond amazing. And, sometimes even when I look in the mirror and go, God, dude, you've been through so much, you were suicidal several times in your 20s, 30s, whatever, last week. Just kidding. Or am I? And just made it through so much. And you've got to keep that sense of humor. You've got to. It's the highest frequency. Love, gratitude, joy, kindness, compassion, and excitement. If you're operating in that, you're a magic attraction machine. And this is why we go through the process and we begin to catch every single judgment, fear, doubt, less than thought, and we just play with them. We stop and we take a breath and we smile to relax our body and let us know that we're safe right now. And then we ask, what is the gift here? 5 magic words. What is this trying to show me or teach me? And if you have the courage and accountability to do that, there's nothing that you won't clear or heal in a very short amount of time. And as I say that, if there's anybody out there that still has something to clear or heal, that may trigger you, because I haven't figured out how to clear the memory of my dad dying or other people that I know getting murdered or, raped or anything, So the memory can still be a little bit painful, but understand that you came here. This is part of your soul journey, and you're a rock star, and nobody can ever take that away from you. Nobody. So Let me go in here and look at a couple of these things here. Okay, sure. I got the psychology and advanced counseling certificate. But I soon realized it was the inner that needed the work. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could go into that whole thing about degrees and certificates and all the plaques hanging on the wall. And, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's a skill you can use, that's great. But a piece of paper doesn't mean anything. I mean, I sat in these psychologists and psychiatrists' office with a million intimidating little plaques on the walls and doctorate of frickin' whatever. And these people are not in touch with their heart. I'm not saying everybody, but the people that come and do the 30-day journey with me, they're like, yeah, I've been going to counseling for 35 years. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? Like, what didn't you learn in the first 3 months of how to clear this stuff, or the first month, or the first year? And it's just like, I don't know. People keep coming to me that've been going to psychiatrists and psychologists forever, and it's like they haven't cleared hardly anything. I don't get it. I don't know. But what I do know is if it was taught in the school system, or it is part of, Yale, all these universities that actually have, hey, Robert, great to see you. Robert's a great guy to know. He's assisting with my book publishing, and he's been a super invaluable, wonderful gentleman, I must say. So thank you, Robert. So all these degrees and stuff, they're great. Go out, learn whatever is your passion. But, don't let that get in the way, because you don't need to have certificates and everything to help somebody, to give somebody a hand up, to be kind. Just be kind. Share your experience. Be a good listener. So anyway, anybody have any questions? So did you get that? That instead of being against things, we shift and we go, okay, so let's pick a scenario. Okay. So the old Jeff and maybe the new Jeff, I'm completely, I agree. It's kind of like, whatever. Your certificate is that you're an unlimited, super badass, wonderful being that's unlimited. Oh, thank you, dear one. Thank you so much. I love you. Yeah, and we're going to get it into schools for children too. So we're going to create a whole new school system. I mean, I'm going to do my best. There's other people out there doing it, and I can't do all this. But check it out. And then I'll go back to what I was just talking about. If a child, not if, when a child learns at the earliest age, first of all, we don't toss them in school and squash their imagination first thing. Sit down and shut up and be quiet and listen to all this boring shit. Most of it's lies, his story, science. It's a science. Most of this stuff is like, it's filler. It's bullshit. They teach you what to think instead of how to think. So check it out. The New Earth children are coming in. They're switched on. Their frickin' DNA is on. And so they don't want to sit still in school. So what happens? The teacher who's taught in the 3D system says, we need to send you to the principal and call your mommy. And then you get in trouble. And then they take you to a doctor. And a doctor who's trained in the 3D system of poison and big harm ya, what does he do? He prescribes toxic, poisonous, addictive medication. Fuck, are we pissed off yet? All right, let's keep it cool. We're observing. Okay, so the children that are coming in are switched on, but because they don't want to sit through all that bullshit for 16 to 20 years, unless they have a cool parent that's awake, they get diagnosed and dumbed down. What a crime. What a crime. Okay, so here's what we do. We completely abolish this entire enslavement school system. I'm not saying it's all bad. I learned how to spell, but spelling, that's a whole nother rabbit hole that we talk about. I learned how to add. There was really nothing else I learned. But it was great hanging out with people, mirrors, and going through all the things, getting beat up on the playground and, having my first girlfriend and all that. It's great. Everybody's our mirror. Everybody's our teacher. But for the most part, children do not need to spend 12 to 16 years of their life going to school, getting programmed so that they can do what? give up 65 plus years of the best years of their life so then they can hopefully become what? What's the spell word? Retired. Look at that word. What's that mean? To recycle. Tired, you know what that means. And now you're at 65, 70 years young, hoping that now you're going to begin your life. Come on. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we've done. Always see it in the present tense. It's already done. Boom. Okay? So the new school, New Earth School, is we teach our children at the very earliest age what an emotional reaction is, what a trigger is, and then we teach them not to judge, to process their emotions, and that they consciously create their reality with their thoughts, their words, their emotions, their excitement, and live in their heart. And then we find out what excites them. And instead of telling them, well, you can't be an artist, you've got to go to school and get a real job. No, we're all artists. You see how it's set up? The artists are starving and they don't get all the money. Everything's inverted in 3D. It's pretty mind-blowing. And it'll piss you off in the beginning, okay? So the new school systems, the New Earth school systems, your kid goes to school for maybe a year or two. That's it. And you can do it at home. I'm baffled seeing some of these parents sending their kids to school knowing what's going on, knowing that they're pushing transgenderism and all this weird shit, dumbing them down. They've got schools for Satan now. I'm not kidding you. I think that's in Florida or something. And I've seen this more than once, so it's a fact. They have a Satan program, and kids are signing up for it. Somehow they're luring them in. It's mind-boggling. So you just observe it, and you go, okay, well, that's part of their soul contract. But wow, let's shine some light on that. Whew, boom. Okay? So when a child learns what an emotional trigger is, how to stop and process it, and then how to consciously create the reality, there's no reason to go to school for 12 or 16 years to pay to get in the club and then sacrifice 65 of the best years of your life. This is all changing right now. So it's definitely something to get excited about. Absolutely. So anybody have any questions? Thank you, everybody, for showing up and hanging in there. I'm just talking to myself, and I just love that there's all these incredible people out there globally. I love Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you, George Soros. Thank you for everybody that created this to try and deceive everybody and gather our data and our information and create meta. And I love you guys. We're just sending you love because it backfired. More people are connected now than ever before. I haven't found another platform that's better than this. And I've tried Twitter and Instascam and all of them. This is a great platform. I love it. So, all right, guilt about what I didn't do. Yeah, I got some of that. I'll be honest. I could have stepped into my fears a long time ago, a lot earlier. And I still have stuff that comes up. I've got triggered this week, huge. Then I want to come on and say that and be real clear about it, because it's not like I got all the tools mastered and I got all my shit together and I'm, no. I'm a really good mentor, and this is a world-class program because I'm authentic and I'm vulnerable, but I also have the tools and I know how to guide somebody through this and hold their hand and pull them up. I've done it with thousands of people and I love it. That's why I do this. And on all these lives, I'm giving away the tools. I'm not hiding anything that's not in the course. Why? Why would I? Because then that means I'm afraid and I'm like, well, don't give away all the information in the book because then, no, that's fear-based thinking. Give away more, and then more people go, wow, I really like this person. He or she is sharing the truth and they're authentic and they're willing to admit that they got shit too. And that's somebody I want to journey with. I don't necessarily want to journey with somebody that's perfect and got all their shit together, and that doesn't feel real to me. So yeah, I got super triggered this week. Now, I never get triggered around other people. I do not project my negativity on anybody, but it's always when I'm by myself. Stuff's been coming up. The computer can trigger me. Something can go wrong. Watching a movie, I watch very few because there's so much programming in it. but I watched this really beautiful movie last night called A Dog's Purpose. And it was so beautifully done because it's not from the human's perspective. It's what the dog's thinking through all these different lifetimes about what the human's feeling. Everything was reversed. And it was really beautiful. And a lot of you know that I hang out with Luna and the wild jungle dogs, and that's part of my everyday thing, helping them to heal and, getting them what they need. So I'm watching this movie on Movies 123, which is a great site if you don't know about it, where it's a mirroring site so you can watch them for free if they've been out for a while. And I'm really into the movie, and like 11 minutes in, the thing starts spinning. And all I wanted to do was relax. And I had to reload the movie, so I was pissed. So yeah, I get triggered too, okay? And then I go, wow, dude, really? Really? What's underneath that? And what's underneath that is usually frustration. And so I go a little bit deeper and I go, what are you frustrated about? And then I just look at what that is. And, there's things that I desire to do too. I would have been traveling already to go do workshops in Australia and the US and UK. And however, I'm not going into the Chiang Mai airport masked up and jibby jabbed. And I got a card, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I'm not going to do this to myself. My body goes into reaction when I do that. And if there's anybody out there that still has to do it, my heart goes out to you. But, follow your own body's intuition. But my body, it's a no for me. No way. And in my last lifetime, supposedly, I got murdered. I was in the Catholic Church, interestingly enough. And apparently I was high up, and I tried to share information with people that would help free them, and they slit my throat and killed me. I can't prove that. I don't remember that. But I did a session with somebody who I recorded when I was a recording engineer, and they said, yeah, you really did a great job on my CD. I want to do a session for you. And that's what they came up with. And this person was held in very high regard, and they don't have any reason to lie to me, and there was no gain. They weren't charging me or anything. And so pretty interesting. But all right, so anybody have any questions about anything that's coming up? Anything you'd like to clear? And this is a safe space. There's no judgment here. In fact, anybody that asks anything in here is a hero, because I guarantee you that there's going to be lots of people that are going to watch this replay and share it. And there's a lot of people on here right now that aren't in the comments and that will see this, and they're thinking the same thing. And I used to sit in the dreaming weekends with one of my mentors, Don Miguel Ruiz, back in 2001. And I had to sign up for a year at a time if I wanted to work with Miguel. And at that time, I was living in my recording studio, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to pay my rent next month. And so I was afraid to sign up and commit for a year. And luckily, one of my friends, she was a female, and she said, just jump, dude. It'll show up. And I was scared, but I jumped. Not only did it show up every month for the next 7 years, but then I became Miguel's recording engineer. So then my tuition for the whole thing was half. And I got to listen back to all the cassettes at that time. We were recording on cassette. And so I just got to download this stuff over and over and over. So when you trust and jump, believe me, you're creating your reality. And if you say, I don't know, my ego mind doesn't know where the money's coming from right now, but I'm doing this, and I deserve this because I'm everything. I'm doing it. And the universe will go, your wish is my command. Anytime you go, it is done. This is why in the morning, when we consciously create our reality, first thing. Some people tell me, well, I don't really like to do it first thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But if those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running when you wake up in the morning right away, I got to get up, I got to put on a pot of coffee, I got to get kids ready for school, I got to jump in the shower, I've only got a half hour before I got to get in traffic. Oh my God, and I got to send those emails, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff you're going to do anyway. But if you stop first thing in the morning, you train yourself to go, oh, wow, I just came out of the sleeping dream. Now I'm in this dream. And to be honest, I don't know which dream is the sleeping dream or what it is. It doesn't even matter, but we're dreaming all the time. Isn't that interesting? And so when we stop and we consciously create our reality every single morning, and we raise our vibration, and we love on every one of these trillions of cells, every one of these cells is listening. They're consciously aware. They're freaking wise. And they're listening to every thought, every word, and the vibration that you have. So it's very important to love on yourself and heal. And if anybody is interested in doing that journey, or you just, you want to do a session or something and really be held in some wonderful space and get a wonderful download that'll clear this stuff very quickly, just send me a private message, reach out, or go to the website and, check out the course. I mean, it's super powerful. And the only reason I journey with only 3 or 4 people a month is because when you put your trust in me, I'm there for you every day. We don't do a session every day, but we do a long call every week that's recorded. You get to watch it back. You get to see your energy and how you tell your story. And then we do the mirroring process and the aha moments start happening. You do the forget. It's the most powerful thing that I know of, one of them. And you're my teacher. Some people call me, yeah, you're the teacher. I'm like, be very careful with that. Don't put anybody above you. I mean, there are people that have done their inner work and they're amazing. And it's great to say thank you, but be very careful, because don't knock yourself down, because you are freaking amazing. And if you've been listening to me flap this stuff for almost an hour, you already know this stuff, because you would not be spending the time listening to me with these other amazing people on here if you did not already hold all this stuff within you. So God bless all of you, all of you. Okay. All right. So here we got a couple questions from Jelf. Help me make money. Okay. All right. So this is a big one, because the 3D matrix is set up to basically mirror you lack at every turn. Every turn. You need this to be happy. Every commercial's about, you need this. You need this to feel good about yourself. You need this to look good. You need this. All right. So it's a very heavy program, but I talk about this all the time. So I don't know, brother, you've been a great supporter of me on these lives and getting me on other shows and stuff, and I'm very grateful for that. Are you seriously, consciously, and intentionally creating your reality every single morning? Are you setting alarms on your phone to go off every hour to remind yourself, boom, where's my frequency right now? Am I in the future? Am I in the past? Am I thinking about lack? Am I saying that I don't have enough money? Because right now, let's be honest, if you want to get down to it, and this is for everybody, and this is for Jeff, if you're saying, help me make money, then what are you saying to the subconscious? I don't have enough. There's not enough. Okay? Let's break it down. Let's go down to what's really happening underneath. Because what we're thinking and talking about up here is one thing. But what is the message that we are sending? Yeah, that we're sending to. So honesty is the best policy here, brother. We're all in this together. There's not anybody that, the only people that I know that had a ton of money, it was kind of given to them. And then they end up having problems because they got all this stuff for free. And there's a whole different set of soul contract learning things that, so yeah, okay. So I don't have it. So again, I don't know if you caught the beginning of this transmission or somewhere in the first 10 minutes where I talked about, I go on a thank you rampage every day. And some people might think it's silly because here's this white guy in Thailand that sticks out like and I was thinking about this yesterday. Where did the statement sore thumb come from? I stick out like a sore thumb. I stick out like a kind-hearted person that's smiling at everybody because I'm in Thailand. I love these people, but I hardly speak just a minimal Thai, and they know that I'm not from here. And so, yeah, Thailand is incredible. So loving here. And yeah, there's a majority of people are walking around still in fear, and that's their choice. The thing that, weighs on my heart is the children. The children are being taught that you have to be afraid to go outside. If you see somebody else without a mask, you have to make sure that yours is really tight because the air is going to get you. The programming is so diabolically fear-based and negative. And I even saw kids getting off a bus the other day at this beautiful, I don't know what it is, a home for children or something. Big, beautiful gate and a big heart wreath out in front and a beautiful pond. And it's beautiful, meticulously, gardens and landscaping. And the kids get off the bus in their masks, in their uniform, and then there's a teacher standing there with a spray bottle, and he sprays every one of these little children in second, third, fourth grade, and then he has them spin around, and he sprays their whole body. So everybody's getting off the bus with a mask, and then he's spraying them, and I'm just like, I wanted to go frickin' shake this guy, and I just went, instead of reacting, I used my 3-word power mantra. I went, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Every time we have a judgment or an automatic reaction, if you train yourself to say, isn't that interesting? It will shift everything in your reality, because now you're no longer reacting and you're not magnetizing more of that into your reality. Okay? That's one of the mantras to definitely write down. Isn't that interesting? What is the gift here? Anything less than love is unacceptable in my life and relationships. And my other 3-word mantra is, I know nothing. It's only the ego that wants to know and prove that it wants to know, and that's a safety control mechanism. So yeah, I know or believe that love is the answer in every situation. I also know or believe that I'm an unlimited divine being, and so are you. But I don't need to know, and I don't need to prove things to other people, because that's an ego-based, fear-based thing. Okay, so those 4 mantras are key. Okay, I'll post those in the comments. Back to money. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's more along the lines, brother. And in the beginning, like I said, I'm in this mastermind group right now, and we don't put a time limit on it. There's somebody in the group on call 2, just call 2 in the first week. And he assists companies in going to the next level and stuff. And they got on a call with some of the people from the company, and their goal was to increase their sales with their global companies $3 million this year, in the next year. Now that sounds pretty good, right? I mean, 3 million to you or me is like, that's a lot of money. That we could like retire on that, or maybe. I don't like to use that word retire, but you know what I mean. Okay. So the guy that's in my mastermind group, Jason, he got them to go way beyond the tiny little belief system, which is usually a prison for everybody. And he said, why'd you only settle on 3 million? And they started thinking, and they started talking about it. And they increased that to 30 million just because it was a freaking belief. It was like, well, we'd be happy if, and they increased it to 30 million, 10 times that, and they met their goal within 1 month. 1 month. Okay? So my point in this isn't to talk about the certain amount of money. The amount of zeros doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, because the subconscious is going to take a direct order no matter what. It doesn't care if you say, I'm going to make $1,000 this month, or I don't know how, because maybe I've never done it in past months, but I'm going to feel into $10,000 this month. Notice how I'm smiling. Notice how my body, my frequency relaxes because I smile, and I'm being playful. I'm not going, fuck, I'm going to make, I'm going to attempt to make $1 million, $1,000 this month, or 3,000. No, can you feel that in your body? It's all resisty. It's non-believy. It's struggly. New words for the dictionary. Unbelievy, struggly. I love it. Just be playful. Okay. So the key is to begin to do this every day, brother, and set those alarms on your phone. How much time do you spend on Facebook? I mean, I spend a lot, because I got clients and I got friends all over the world, and they're all in different time zones. So in the morning and the evening, I got messages coming in left and right, and it's great. I love it. Thank you, Facebook, again. However, sometimes I have to pull back and go, dude, stop scrolling. What if you just took 5 minutes right now and went, okay, here's my list. Incredible clients. I'm traveling the world at 5-star resorts, taking people through this 3-day weekend or 7-day journey. We're fucking having the blast, eating the finest food, everything, and helping everybody that didn't think they could ever go stay at a 5-star resort, helping them realize that they can if they believe they can. So we're going to start imagining that and envisioning that, and we're going to sit there with it. And we're going to use our breath to stop the mind from going, well, I don't think you can do this. You've never done it before. How are you going to stop that shit? That's why we stop and we breathe. And we take a few breaths, so we drop down into 0 point. And if you're not familiar with the term 0 point, it's when you're not in the future and you're not in the past. You're right here in what you may want to call a meditative state, to where the mind isn't running. And now you are giving the subconscious the direct download. Abundance just shows up in my life. I love what I do. I do music, whatever it is that you do. I do great services for people. And I give away money freely. If I don't have a ton, I'm not going to give away my rent and shoot myself in the foot. But what I started doing was, since I was a bartender in San Diego way back in the day, we would always get the bill and we'd go, okay, what's 10 or 15% or whatever. And then the mind would go through the process. Were they good? Was the food good? Was the food on time? Was the waitress cute? Or what, whatever. All the shit the mind goes through. And then I realized that whole program, and I just went, okay, what would be a little bit of a stretch for me? So I figured out that if I just decided, even if the service was crappy and the food sucked, that I was going to tip double or triple no matter what. Didn't matter, no matter what. Maybe the waitress had a bad day. Maybe she's working 2 jobs and she's, divorced and she's got 3 kids at home and 2 dogs and behind on her rent. God bless them. That's all a distraction. When we're talking about abundance, the whole test of when the bill came was, what do I feel worthy to give? And when I started to give more, that sent the message to my subconscious that there's always more to give. And I've got another mantra here for you that I just remembered. Anything I give or spend to anyone, give to anyone or spend on anything, has already been returned to me. You know why? On the deeper level? Because all you're doing is giving to yourself. The teller at the checkout counter is you. The waitress is you. Everybody's you. It's a freaking mirror. I know it's a trip, and I don't have it all figured out, but I understand frequency enough to know, where's my frequency right now? Where's my frequency right now? Am I in gratitude, kindness, compassion, joy, excitement? Those are the magnetic frequencies to be operating in. And so this is why we go through the process in the book and we go, okay, there's a judgment. What is this trying to show me about me? It's not about them. It's not even about the people in government. It's not about the pedophiles. If you want to take action against them, and you can do it without being pissed off and upset, and you can go file a petition or, go bury a pedophile out in the woods, right on. I'll even help you. I mean, that's a little extreme, but you know what I mean? It's like, don't let it. If it's going to lower your frequency, then just bless it and go, okay, if I can do nothing else right now, I just realized that I was triggered and I caught it. So high five, high five. You do that for 30 days, you're going to be a different person. You begin to wake up every morning and love on your body and go, okay, I don't know how to do it. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to know how to do it. The subconscious is going to do it for you. All you have to do is give them the order. And the order is, it's already here now. Thank you. It's that simple. It's already here now. Thank you. And then in the meantime, if you're waiting on something, whether it's the soulmate or, the money or the abundance or the job or whatever, just don't let doubt creep in. The only thing that could stop your manifestation is doubt. So if it comes in, and it could, I'm in the process of manifesting millions of dollars. Not because I need it, because that's the money I'm going to use to create the newer school systems and to travel around and do all this stuff. I don't need more money. I'm living like a king. I'm like $20 a day or less, sometimes half that. Fuck, I'm in nature. I live in heaven. I don't need material stuff. Yeah, once in a while I'll go buy a new guitar pedal or whatever, but I already own all that stuff in California. It's silly. Anyway, it's so simple when you begin to figure out how to create your reality. All it is practice. All it is practice. Hang out. Get yourself a buddy. Reach out to somebody in this feed and go, hey, do you want to be my manifestation buddy? You want to have conscious conversations? You want to mirror each other? Let's do it. And watch how quickly. And you also realize that I'm going to unplug from my friend that I've known for 20 years, but every time I talk to him or her, it's negative Nancy or, bitchy McGee or whatever. And I do my best to mirror them, and they're like, they don't want to hear it. And I used to be that guy, Judgeaholic Joe or Judgeaholic Jeff. That was me. Not because I had a beautiful heart. It's just because I was like, how come all this shit's wrong? Isn't everything supposed to be love? So I thought if I pointed it all out, that would fix it. But it didn't. It magnetized more of it towards me. And it wasn't until I figured that out and a light bulb moment went off. And my teacher taught me, your beliefs are creating your reality, dude. I'm like, what? And I was like, wow. Most people are just triggered by anything that challenges their tiny little prison of a belief system that wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin. Our beliefs are so tiny and limiting, it's insane. It really is when you look at it, if you're willing to be honest, and that willing to look at it will free you. And so the 3D matrix is set up to have everybody in resistance, fighting with each other. Republican versus Democrat, white lives matter, black lives matter. They separate everything, so you'll be separated and triggered, so it keeps you in low frequency, and they feed off that frequency. They feed off of it. It's vampiric shit. So now we just shower love on them, boom, 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 and they're being removed from the planet faster than you can, and believe me, they are. Half these people that are still on the television aren't even the same person that was in the government 2 or 3 years ago. Trust me. No, don't trust me. Trust yourself. Yeah, don't trust me. Sorry. Trust yourself. So anybody have any questions before we go about anything? Spell words, consciously creating your reality every single, and before you go to bed, okay? I know a lot of people, right before we go to bed, we stay up until we're so tired that we're going to fall asleep in like a minute or two. I tend to wake up every morning around 3 a.m., between 3 and 4 or 5, and that's when I get my notes for the show, and I download them. I have my phone next to my bed on airplane mode, and I just speak my notes in there because otherwise I'll forget them. I'll kind of remember them a little bit, but I won't remember the detail because I've attempted to do that many times, and it's like, nope. When it's clear and your mind is clear, write that stuff down or just have the little recorder program that's free on your phone. Note to self, remember this. So, yeah, all right. Well, I guess this is good. I feel good. I feel like I gave myself some good tools to remember. Yeah. So anyway, there's a link for the book. If anybody's interested in doing this journey with me, I have 2 spots open right now. It's not a sales pitch. Every month, 3 or 4 spots open up. Usually somebody finishes every couple weeks. So it's something you're interested in doing, and you truly, truly, truly want to do it, I'll make it so you can do it. But there is an investment because there is. It'll change your life more than probably anything else you've ever done. And I will hold you in such safe space. And I will also hold you accountable gently. And I will mirror you with so much love that you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll remember it. And so if you're interested in doing that, go to the website. There's just a quick little form you fill out that asks, what's coming up for you? What do you want to clear? Do you have anybody to forgive? What's your main issue? So when we get on the discovery call, which is free, get on a call with me. I'm not going to try and sell you on the course. I got my 3 or 4 people every month. But I will mirror you, and whether you decide to do it or not, you will learn something, And when you go through this course, you will never speak in lack ever again. Ever. You will never speak in lack ever again. What is that worth? I mean, you could take it just from this transmission if you really want to apply this stuff. If you took notes or you want to come back and watch the replay. Or go to my YouTube channel, /Portal to Awakening, just like my website. I was blown away the other day. I don't I think I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. But I'm like nowhere up on the YouTube-y, plaque thing. I don't care about that. That was never the goal. But I realized the other day I had like over 300 and something hours of stuff. And I remember when I first started doing these lives back in 2016, I was afraid to even do them. I was like, fuck, anybody want to hear this shit? And, the other day I was up at the dam by the dogs and I was the only one there, and it was heaven. The clouds are bigger than anywhere I've ever seen. The water was glass. If a fish jumped a quarter mile away, I could hear it in the water. It was quiet. It was heaven. The mountains are in the background. But when I came back and watched the video, because it was alive, it was all grainy. And I got to move really slow when it's alive if I'm moving the camera. And I was going to delete it. And I came back to my computer to delete it because I saw it on my phone. It was grainy. And right when I came back, somebody said, I needed to hear that so badly. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep doing your lives. Please keep sharing the spell words and the wild jungle dogs. And I was like, wow, you never know who's going to see your message of kindness. But if it's coming from the heart, you know that it's affecting the quantum field, the whole field. Oh, wow. Okay, there I am. Technical difficulty. So yeah, you're affecting the quantum field in every single moment, and your magnet is on in every single moment. If you write that down, my magnet is either attracting or repelling in every moment. And then you set those alarms on your phone to go off every hour, 111, 222, 333. I love playing with numbers because they show up to me and just give me reaffirmation. It's all a game. It's you. You're the universe. You're the capital Y-O-U universe. You're all of this. You're all of it. If you can accept that and no longer be a victim, you will kick royal ass in love, creation, imagination, and having fun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there and allowing me to mirror myself. You're so welcome, dear one. So welcome. I'm glad that this resonates with you. Again, I'm only speaking to Jeff, so I never forget this stuff ever again. So, I can get triggered, but for the most part, I'm on Gratitudeville. And if you begin to go out and say, thank you for everything. Thank you for my spoon. Thank you for my shower. When you're in the shower, if you can see that water coming down on you, is what a gift. We take it for granted that we can just turn a knob. It's amazing. I live around people that live in shacks that don't even have electricity. Okay? So when you start to say thank you for everything, thank you for this glass of ginger tea. Thank you for the remote control for my air conditioner. Thank you for my little heart pendant somebody gave me. Thank you for this other cool pendant somebody gave me. Thank you for my Tibetan bell. Thank you for my, flute. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When you start to turn into a thank you magnet, watch out, because you are going to be attracting so much good into your reality, because that's who you are. You just got tricked. So don't be pissed that you're tricked. I mean, you can be pissed for a minute, but pissed is a very low frequency. Anger, hatred, get rid of all that, man. Clear it, heal it, forgive everybody. And when you can thank everybody, thank you. Thank you, mom. Thank you, dad. Thank you, ex-boyfriend. Thank you, ex-husband. No matter what they did to you, it was a soul contract. What is the gift here? Otherwise, you're a victim and you lose, and you'll always be a victim, and you'll keep attracting that same shit into your life. I intend this has been inspiring to you. Reach out if you're interested in doing the journey. If you want to grab the book, it's an instant download right now. You'll get the daily tracking sheet. Boom, boom, boom. Take 5 minutes to fill it out every night and watch how you begin to just shift all this stuff. You got to be able to see the program if you're going to dismantle it. You can't just avoid it and do affirmations. It's so easy to do. Why do you think you weren't taught how to do it? Because then you would know how powerful you are, and all the 3D manipulators would disappear. Well, it's happening right now, and you came here for this. So thank you very much. Big love to everybody. Yeah, the book's for sale, half price. And the PowerPoint, the course, the digital online course, which you have access to for the rest of your life, it's less than $100. And it's got the PowerPoint trainings. You'll be able to see what the ego does, why it does it, how it does it. And once you see it, you'll go, oh my God, almost everybody's an automatic reactor to anything that either challenges their tiny little belief system prison or that touches on a childhood wound. When you figure out those two pieces and you begin to consciously create your reality every morning and every evening before you go to bed, everything in your reality is going to shift. It's a master course. And I would have never said that years ago because I would have thought I'm being an egotist. But after taking thousands of people through this, it's a master course. And I don't know anything that's quicker. And that's why it's not 6 months or 3 months or whatever. 30 days, boom. And then my door is always open. Most people that go through the course are friends of mine for life. We end up rocking it. So if that interests you, reach out. Have an incredible day, or probably evening for a lot of you. And one thing, if this really resonated with you and you feel like there's any friends or people that would benefit from this, please feel free to share this in groups. Just copy the link, share it or whatever. It'll help somebody. And that's just compassion in your own heart, and it'll come back to you. Everything you're doing is coming back to you. Big, big love from Thailand. And look forward to the next transmission. Many blessings. All right, so here we go. Here's a song I did called Beautiful Dream, all for you. Whoops. All heart-based frequencies.